Hello and welcome to this edition of Safe and Secure. On today's show, the Southfield Police Department has been busy this holiday season collecting toys and working with the fire department to make sure children have a happy and safe Christmas. And the police are thankful for a special gift for some of their officers.
Southfield's police and fire departments have also been busy with new training opportunities, learning how to handle active shooter situations or high-angle rope rescues, or dealing with holiday-related emergencies.
We'll have this and more on this edition of Safe and Secure.
The United States Department of Homeland Security defines the active shooter as an individual actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in a confined and populated area. In most cases, active shooters use firearms, and there is no pattern or method to their selection of victims. These situations are, by their very nature, unpredictable and they evolve quickly. Members of Southfield's police and fire departments recently took part in an active shooter training with other area police and fire departments.
I'm here as part of the OCTAC group, and what we're doing is we're training fire, EMS, and law enforcement first responders in responding to active assailant incidents as rescue task force teams. We are doing this training because, as we know, active assailant incidents, they're occurring more frequently and more violently all over our country. It's become something that's not a matter of if an event will happen, but more of a matter of when and where the event will happen. And what we've learned as first responders is that we constantly need to be evolving our response as the active assailant is evolving. We need to train together to be prepared for our response to an active killer incident.
Several agencies from Oakland County took part in the training for active assailant response, including fire, EMS, and law enforcement personnel, where they learned to provide combat casualty care to victims who, without receiving this treatment, would likely die.
The term RTF stands for Rescue Task Force. Rescue Task Force teams will be combined first responder teams of both police and fire personnel, consisting of force protection on the law enforcement side, as well as medical personnel to provide critical treatment to victims that otherwise would not survive if they did not receive that treatment. We've trained thousands of law enforcement officers over the last 2 to 3 years. We've been training thousands of law enforcement officers how to respond as contact teams, how to respond as rescue teams. This is the third tier of training, rescue task force teams. What I've seen some teams do in previous trainings is 2 medics are hands-on doing the treatment. A third one is on the radio communicating or preparing, looking down the hall at additional patients and just communicating that with the team, or at least making a plan of we need to go to that patient next, and maybe triaging from a distance, if that makes sense. We've covered room entries. We've covered coming out of a room together as a team. We've covered different types of rooms, rooms that are basic rooms. We've also covered rooms with doorways that go into adjoining rooms and how we deal with those. We've gone over how do we respond once we are engaged by a threat? How do we respond to that as a team? Well, the value of this training is to get as many members of first responders, whether it be police, fire, or EMS, to follow the same concepts of training so that whether an incident happens, regardless of where an incident happens, all first responders will be responding and they'll all have been trained to respond using the same concepts. So we can effectively and efficiently work together regardless of the jurisdiction that we're from. We've treated them. We had more patients down the hall, but then we came under fire. We came into contact with a threat. Rather than running down the length of the hallway to go out the same place we came, we have 2 areas right here that we've already been in, right? They're secure areas. They have patients in the inside. This is what would be called sheltering in place. So we'd go into a safe room, and law enforcement would come out and maintain security of the room. Once we're inside, we'll figure out a way to get out of this room, right? Especially when we're under fire. We have the tools on us, or there's something in that room that we can break a window out and then extract ourselves from the room. This has just been a tremendous opportunity to train with first responders from all over Oakland County, working together with the mission to save lives. That's why we do what we do, whether we are police officers, whether we're EMS, whether we're fire. We all have a primary mission, and we do what we do to save lives and help people.
Firefighters don't have to be worried about boredom because every day can bring them a new and different emergencies, from fires to rescues to life-saving events. That's why in-service training plays such an important part in firemen's jobs.
All right, so what we have here today and this week are part of the Oakway Mutual Aid Group. It's also known as the MABUS 3202 group, and we're part of a mutual aid pack that comes together. In some cases, if we have a large fire, a large EMS incident, we call on our mutual aid partners to come give us a hand, whether it's with rigs or manpower. So today we have everybody from Royal Oak, Southfield, Bloomfield Township, Birmingham, West Bloomfield's part of the group also, Ferndale, and Madison Heights. All right, well, so what we have here is the Northwood Shopping Center at the corner of 13 and Woodward. It's been here since the 60s, and it actually is owned by Beaumont Hospital, and they have plans apparently on the table to make this into a new area, so eventually this building's got to be demolished. So working with them, we've been able to set aside this week of doing some training here in the mall. We don't get a very good chance of doing commercial building work as far as firefighting training. So when things like this come to our attention, we're able to get our hands on it and do some things that works out well for everybody.
This training cuts across the board for everybody. Older and younger guys working together who might not have an experience working on commercial buildings. It's a good experience for new guys and good refresher for older guys.
Over here in the corner in the Office Depot, the guys are stretching what's called a 2.5-inch charge hose line. So it's a bigger hose line which carries a lot of water, and what we're training on there is seeing just how manpower intensive it's going to be to haul that 2.5-inch hose line into water and then set up what we call a deluge gun, which puts out a lot of water. So what we're simulating here is, let's say part of a mall is on fire and we want to stop the fire at some certain point. So in some instances, we may have to take a large hose like that into a line, set up an unmanned deluge gun, and hopefully stop the fire from progressing any further. So that's kind of what we're simulating with there. The next station, we have what's called a large area search. And what that is taking place in the Party City. So we're sending 3 guys in with rope and tag lines. And what they're learning there is how to search a large open area for a downed firefighter in this case. And what we're using here is one of our tools that we have. It's called a pack tracker. And on our Scott brand SCBAs that we wear for breathing is a device, and if a firefighter goes down, the pass alarm is activated and sends out a radio signal. And by using this device, we can track where, for the most part, that person is down at through the percentage reads we get on our tracker here. So that's very helpful, as well as our thermal imagers. A lot of departments nowadays have the thermal imagers, and that picks up the heat from bodies when we're searching for them, as well as citizens and civilians in homes. The next station we have is we're simulating a standpipe operation where if we were in a high-rise and we hook our hoses up to a standpipe system in the stairwell and then take our hose lines from the stairwell down a hallway and into the room that's on fire. So we're simulating that with the guys in there also. When you go up a commercial building in the stairwell, you see the red hose or the red pipes going in the stairwells, and at there we have connections that we can hook into, and those are for fire department connections. And on the outside of buildings, sometimes you'll see 2 called FDC fire department connections coming out there, and that's what we'd hook into to charge those lines to go into a building to suppress the fire in high rises. And we don't get a lot of chance to do that kind of operation. That's why it works out well here in the stairwell here at the building. Lastly, we have some ventilation work going on above the Kroger building. Up there, we're taking guys up there and getting practice using what's called a K12 or rotary saw to cut large holes in the roof, so we get practice doing that, because a lot of guys have never done that before on a commercial building. Oh, for the training aspect, again, we do it because we don't get a chance to do it a lot, but you know, our job as being a fire department is to save property as much as we can. So if we get to a commercial building type fire, you know, the fire gets so far along that we can't save some of it, but we can save the rest of it. So by doing these things, setting up different operations, we can hopefully stop the fire from progressing any further.
Royal Oak has been gracious enough to invite us down. They've obviously got a commercial structure here that is slated for demolition, so when we get a chance to do that, we like to come in and practice things that we don't normally get to practice, which is, you know, cutting roofs, cutting holes in roofs, flowing water in the buildings, breaking some stuff. So it's a kind of a hands-on chance that we don't normally get to do. Obviously, we've got a large commercial building, which could present a large fire load. So on structures like that, a lot of times we'll try to open up the roof. So we've got a nice commercial roof. Taking all the crews up, we're going to walk through cutting commercial roofs. We would take a crew up, probably 4 to 6 guys on the roof. Everybody would have their tools and whatnot. We would go up, we'd obviously have to make sure the roof is stable for us to work on. Try to coordinate with the crews down below where the fire's at. And we'd like to start getting at least a 4x4 hole in the roof as close to above the fire as we can get, and then make it bigger from there. We use power saws, we'll use a lot of hand tools, pike poles, Halligans, we have some roof shovels, things like that. Pretty much we have to size up the roof, see what we're working with, and then obviously we've got a big toolbox here, so we'll go get the appropriate tools. Our department has driver engineers. Their job is to drive the aerial apparatus, so this is a nice chance for them to come in, size up the building, think about where that truck needs to be and practice going through, setting it up, getting guys and tools and equipment to the roof in a safe manner, and then typically when we work on a roof, we like to have a secondary means of egress, so then they will also practice laddering the building in case we get cut off by fire and we have to get a second way down.
In bigger cities, firemen sometimes become more specialized. In smaller cities and suburbs, firemen tend to be a jack of all trades, learning engine company operation, truck company operations, rescue, and EMS as well.
We, as firemen, we train to, obviously we have engine companies and we move hose, we have bosses that kind of direct where to go. We have to do forcible entry and all kinds of stuff. Depending on the department, depends on your EMS level. So I know for myself in Southfield, we provide paramedic care. So about half of our department is certified as paramedics. So we all run around on medicals doing paramedic care, and we have to be good firemen too. We work within a mutual aid compact called Oakway, which opens us up to having many firefighters on duty. You know, if we were to have a high-rise fire in Southfield, we could call for a second alarm and we could get, you know, 40, 50, 60 guys on scene. So these larger structures are very manpower dependent.
The value of Oakway can't be stressed enough, and you'll hear about its value from every fireman you talk with.
Really, the value is priceless. Each city puts in, I believe it's $5,000 a year, and because you're part of that group, then you get all these resources. You got engines, ladders, manpower, as well as technical rescue teams. You have a hazmat team, and everybody feeds into it. So not all one department has the resources to have all that stuff by itself, but together, when we come together, we have enough resources to get us at least started to get things under control.
Festive celebrations, flickering lights, and winter greens are hallmarks of the holiday season, but they also present fire risks that can quickly turn this festive time of year into a devastating one. Let's take a look at holiday fires by the numbers. Electrical distribution or lighting equipment was involved in 35% of home Christmas tree fires. 1/5 of the decoration fires started in the kitchen. 1 out of 6 started in the living room, family room, or den. The top 3 days for home candle fires were Christmas Eve, Christmas, and New Year's Day. The Southfield Fire Department recently held a demonstration to show just how dangerous our Christmas trees can be.
Yesterday was an event that we had. The Southfield Fire Department paired up with the State Fire Marshal. And what we did was actually show what can happen with with Christmas tree decorations. You know, Christmas tree decorations is set up, everything's there for a fire. You have tissue paper, wrapping paper, fresh boxes, and what happens if you have a problem with the electrical lighting, you overload light socket, or you just forget to keep watering your tree? You know, what we did there is we put together 2 identical rooms. One, a Christmas tree that we showed a lot of love to. We watered it every day. We talked to it, and compared to a tree that we gave no love to. We didn't water it, we just left it over on the side. We kind of treated it as we went on with day-to-day operations and how people do things, and they forget to water the tree, and how fast things can happen and how rapidly things can change with a Christmas tree. I think people yesterday got a real good example of when people say, well, it burned like a Christmas tree, it went up like a Christmas tree. Christmas trees burn very fast. I mean, we had temperatures when it first ignited within 3 minutes, it was over 1,100 degrees. Now, with our thermal imaging cameras, I captured actually temperatures over 1,500 degrees in this room. So I think it was a great visual, a great reminder to our citizens what to look out for, and some safety tips on what to do if you have a fire like this.
Winter holidays are a time for families and friends to get together, but that also means a greater risk for fire. Following a few simple tips will ensure a happy and fire-safe holiday season.
The things that you should be worried about during the holiday season is have a working smoke detector on every level of your home. Make sure they work. Make sure that you water your tree every day, religiously. Don't skip a day. Make sure that the wires on your lighting, they're not frayed or broken. You know, just a little spark can set things off. That you're not overloading the electrical sockets there. That can also be a problem. And 50% of fires during the holidays are started by candles. Make sure, we recommend that you use flameless candles anytime possible. With the new technology, you can get the same lighting that you can with a regular wax candle, but we recommend that you do that. And the Southfield Fire Department has free smoke detectors for people that can't afford to buy them your own.
Runs for the fire department normally increase during the holidays, and this is due to a number of different things.
What you have is when the weather changes, of course we're going to have more slip and fall accidents like that. We're going to have more accidents with people shoveling snow, and that's very strenuous on the body. Also, people aren't going outside as much, so we have more trouble breathing type of runs. But we also have the type of incidences where people are not vigilant with their safety. They're kind of shut in. So the holiday Christmas time is a time where our fire runs do increase slightly. But remember, a safe holiday is a great holiday. We want, from the Southfield Fire Department, we want you to have great holiday cheer, not holiday tears. Four police dogs in Southfield have some pretty expensive new gear. They've been given bulletproof vests. Michigan Insurance and Financial Services donated $2,500 for custom fit vests, which will help protect Ivo, Harley, Chase, and Ruger. Brian Eade, who donated the money for the vest, said it was an honor to be able to give back.
So big dog guy, so this is a huge part of us giving back, and police are just they're near and dear to our heart. They make up a huge customer base here at the agency, and not enough good is in the news about police, so we are right behind them 100%. We appreciate what they do every day. Myself wearing a uniform for 6 years with Detroit PD, I know what they go through every day. And it breaks my heart seeing what's going on in the news today. Violent crime against police is off the chart right now. So whatever we can do to keep our four-legged officers safe, it's big to us. One of our customers is a canine officer here, and saw a story that we did prior with Flint PD back in March when we donated a canine vest to their newest canine officer. So he reached out to me, and here we are today.
The Southfield Police do a lot of outreach to residents in terms of police and community relations. Southfield Police Chief Eric Hawkins says it is vital to have this kind of community support in his department. And this is a good example of police and local businesses making the community safer.
We do a lot with our residents in terms of police-community relations. This is a great example of relations between a police department and a local business in order to help this community become even more safe and more secure. So number one. And number two, what it does is keeps those dogs safe. Those dogs are just as important to us as the officers that are handling them.
Everything is custom ordered, so it took a while to get them. It's about a 2-month lead time, so every vest is specific to each dog. So measurements were taken, everything was done, and then they're custom fit for each one. It costs us about $2,500. So each vest runs about $650. We did negotiate the price to get it at cost. So priority 1 emergency in Canton was great to help us out with that. We support the police, we support our communities. This year we're going to donate over $30,000 to police, fire, and education. So underfunded programs like this, this is a big expense for a department, and sometimes it's just not in the budget. So we're more than happy to step up the plate, and we look to continue doing this all as long as we're in business. So this is we have a hashtag MIAFS Gives Back, and that's our program that we run with. And yeah, it's awesome. Feel good stuff.
When something is happening out there, those officers are actually at the forefront. They're the ones who, if there's a person who's being chased, who runs from some sort of incident, the dogs are the ones who are the first ones out chasing that person down. If we're doing a track and we don't know where the suspects are, those dogs are at the front doing the tracking, putting themselves in harm's way, in order for us to catch folks who are doing things they shouldn't be doing. So it's important to us to keep those dogs safe. And this partnership allows us to do that. And I say this a lot, and I really and truly mean it. Those dogs are part of our family. Those dogs are just as important to us as any other officer we have on this department. We've developed, anybody who's an animal lover, I think knows what I mean when I say this. The people in this department care about those dogs just as much as we care about anybody else in this place. And so it's important to us to keep those dogs safe. Brian Eady, and he's from a local business, and he's a former police officer, and he knows the challenges that we're facing. He knows the challenges that dogs have. He knows the budgetary challenges that municipalities have. And he knows that if he can help to relieve some of those things, some of those stressors, it can help us to better do what we do out there. On Friday, December 16th, 2016, members of the Southfield Police and Fire Departments hosted 29 local children for a Christmas shopping event. Previously known as Shop with a Cop, the event is now called Shop with a Hero, as we welcome the participation of the Southfield Fire Department. This is the 4th year that the event has been generously sponsored by Meijer. Each child was partnered with either a police officer or a firefighter and received a $150 gift card for Christmas shopping. It's an annual event, and every year, usually we call it Shop with the Cop, and it's where we partner with the local business to provide holiday gifts for children who may not be as privileged as others. And so this year we came up with the idea of partnering with our brothers and sisters in the fire department and calling the event Shop with a Hero. To let our youth in our city know that our public safety, our first responders are all a part of their support system. We care about them. This is more than just a job for us. This is really a mission for a lot of us. And so it's a tremendous opportunity for us to touch and engage with our youth in our community.
So it brings us together. And myself and Chief Hawkins like to have events that we bring the police and fire together, but it's really about the kids, the children's. Meijer's has donated $150 per child so they can actually shop. And truly they are the heroes in this event, because there's nothing like seeing a kid's face light up when they're receiving something new or a new gift that they've been wanting.
It seems silly to me for us to do them separately. I mean, we're all public servants. We all work for the same city. It just seemed natural to do it together, to again, build the camaraderie between the two departments, and to bring more people, more kids together all at once. You know, I think kids will enjoy it more if there's more kids around doing the same kind of thing. So it just felt natural to combine the two events into one big event. Today we try to get as many kids that don't have a Christmas at home, that we can try and provide a Christmas for them. So we gather up police, firefighters, to take them shopping, to help them buy gifts for themselves or family members. It's kind of neat to get different kids. Some will want to buy for themselves, but being that it's a giving time of year, a lot of the kids will want to buy for family members.
Many of the children are referred by Southfield's Human Services Department, and some are met through the school's outreach police officers.
The Meyer Corporation donates all the money for this event. We just donate all the legwork and all the people that come do it. Meyer donates $150 per child to take shopping. So I get the names from Human Services, I organize with the parents to try to get them here, and then we take them shopping. And then again, the Meyer Corporation supports the event and lets us do it here and supplies the money for it.
Meyer's we've always been, we have a lot of people that live, work, and shop in our area, and we want to be able to give back to them as well, and we've done that. Not only do we do an event like this, but we have funded things like basically almost every school in Southfield, from elementary, middle, high school, other organizations as well. So we feel it's really important for those customers that shop in our stores that we give back to our communities, and we've given over $15,000 into our community this year.
Despite all of the confusion and activity in the store, some shoppers were impressed.
Well, I came in to do some shopping, and all of these handsome men were here, and ladies, and I asked what they were selling, and they weren't selling anything. They were just helping children, so I wanted to help. I bought some Myers gift cards for them to share with the kids. I think that we all need to give, because there's always people that need, and we're lucky that we can give.
Well, we like to think of ourselves as the ambassadors of this city. We are big into community outreach in every way, and me and Chief Hawkins both feel that way about it. We are so involved in the community. We believe in elevating, educating, and serving our citizens on an individual basis as well as a big community basis. So anytime that we can get together and help outside of fighting fires or teaching about inspections or learning CPR, anything that we can do together and help the community understand more about us as a fire department, that we care on a personal level.
It's a tremendous opportunity for us to touch young people in our community. There's so much negative stuff that we've heard, particularly with police officers across the country, and this gives us an opportunity to really get one-on-one and engage at a personal level with our youth, to let them know that a lot of the things that you're hearing across the country are just not true. The police officers and our first responders are here for you, is the message that we want to send to our youth. And we're really getting that out. And you can see, there's the youth that are having a great time engaging with police and firefighters. And these are kids who, in another 3 or 4 years, they're going to be, productive members of our community, and folks that we want to partner with in order to make our community safer and even more secure. So again, this is an event that I love every year. It's one of my favorite community outreach events. We always have a great time, and it makes it even more special this year that we have our fire department brothers and sisters working with us.
Well, that's it for this holiday edition of Safe and Secure.
From all of us here at the City of Southfield, we wish you happy holidays, and remember to stay safe and secure.